By the mid-60s, America's mood had changed drastically. Our society was in upheaval. For crying out loud, it seemed like a perfect time for me and my ballsy yarns. Of course, life doesn't always work out the way you think it will. Rather than prolific, the 60s turned out to be tough going. I resorted to my tramping ways, going wherever in the world a producer would back one of my projects. Even then, I didn't make half the movies I wanted to. One of the tricks I've learned is to tap constantly into my creative juices, no matter if there's a producer to finance a movie or not. When you're least expecting it, one will show up. You damn well better be ready to pull a script you really love out of your desk drawer. You see, I had to keep making movies. It was in my blood after all these years. Now, I was a tough guy to be married to, but somehow we made it work, realizing right away that it takes two to tango. One day, I ran into Lee Marvin. "Sammy," said Lee, "when are you going to do the Big Red One?" Marvin knew about the precious movie that I'd been working on all those years. I'd kept him in the loop. "You'll be my sergeant," I said, making a promise I'd never break. There were just two projects I wanted to focus on now: the baby that Krista was about to have, and the Big Red One, the movie that I had to find a way to give birth to. Krista's pregnancy went to term without a glitch. At the age of 63, I'd become a father for the first time. I'd never felt more ambitious or energetic. Nothing and no one could ever get me down. I wanted my little girl to be proud of her daddy. The Big Red One was an official entry at the 1980 Cannes Film Festival. Even in its drastically cut version, critics called it one of the best war movies ever made. But my problem in Hollywood was that power and money never gave me a hard-on. I'd put my life on the line to stand up for democracy, fighting fascism because it was antagonistic to the Jeffersonian principles that all men are created equal. I was one of the first directors in Hollywood to use actors of color in intelligent, complex roles. The black medic in The Steel Helmet, Nat King Cole's sensitive soldier in China Gate, Harry Rhodes' twisted college dropout in Shock Corridor, James Shigeta's detective who gets the gal in The Crimson Kimono. After depicting the little guy and his right to be different in movie after movie, no matter what economic status or race, I thought I'd made my position on equality crystal clear.
I understand you're an Italian, Vinci. How come they let a wop in this man's army? I don't think a wop's gonna fight a wop. I think all you'll do is drink Dago Red and sing O Solo Mio. O Solo Mio, la 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 la.
To my amazement and consternation, rumors began to circulate that my upcoming film, White Dog, was a racist movie, even before the picture had been previewed in public. Paramount hadn't set a release date yet. A meeting was called. As soon as I sat down in their conference room, they dropped the bomb. They were going to shelve my film. I was deeply hurt. The studio had used me as a scapegoat for their lack of determination and courage. Nightmares made sleeping hellish.
I have that nightmare all the time.
In my bad dreams, I became characters in my movies. Sometimes the old Indian in Run of the Arrow, who was scorned by the young braves. Sometimes the commanding general in Merrill's Marauders, trekking through the jungle with his soldiers. Sometimes Johnny Barrett, trapped in an asylum in Shock Corridor. I woke up before dawn, soaked from my own sweat, as if I'd been running from a vicious white dog. I became like a foreigner in my own country. In France, by contrast, I was always treated with esteem.